Hey, it's Heather, and welcome to another adventure in gardening. This is the weekend episode where I'm going to talk about all the little things that happen during the week, and some things about indoor gardening, some things about outdoor gardening, some timely things, and some homesteading things. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Heather Thibault, and I have over 30 years experience in gardening. Now you might be saying, oh, 30 years. That's 30 years of me making lots of mistakes. Lots of trial and error and lots of lessons learned. If plants and gardening are your passion, or if you just want to learn more about gardening, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow me on the adventure. Okay, so this week I got my seed orders in, the 2 seed orders that I placed. And I opened one of them without even thinking. And then the second one came in and I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait so I can share it with everybody at the end of the week. So the first order that I got in was from Hudson Valley Seed Company. And I only ordered 2 things from them. Now they are in Accord, New York. I ran into them at, I want to say it was the Country Living Fair in New York a few years ago, and I really liked their setup. I did buy some seeds then from them, but when I couldn't find what I was looking for from Baker Creek, where I was placing the bulk of my order, I'm like, yeah, I got to try them. I also am ordering something from Fruition Seeds, which they are also, I believe, in New York. Okay, so this is what I got. I got Thai basil from them. You can see their cute little packaging, right? They're smaller than normal size seed packets. And I got tall telephone. Now, tall telephone is going to be my my shelling pea that I'm going to grow this year. I grow a lot of peas, but mostly I've grown the edible pods, and I have 2 rows set up for early spring, and there's nothing else going on, and it almost becomes too many peas for us. Yeah, if there's such a thing. And my husband talks big game. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat all those peas, and we always end up with extra peas that I'm using for sprouting, which I'm gonna update you in a minute on the sprouting of the peas. So I'm super excited about tall telephone, and I ordered Thai basil from them just because I was placing an order. So my son-in-law has been asking for Thai basil for a few years, and I do the Genovese, the lettuce leaf, and I think I did cinnamon last year. My sister gave me some of those. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, so now we get to open the Baker Creek. Got this. All right. So normally when I get my Baker Creek order in, it comes in this really cute cardboard looking envelope, and it's got really cute pictures on it. I'm sure that they are very busy. So it's in a padded envelope. That's how it came. And I don't actually remember, I'm using my scissors, I don't actually remember what I ordered. I mean, some of the things I do, but this is a lot like Christmas for me. Oh my gosh. All right, okay. Oh yeah, okay. So I got Kajari melon. Yeah, all right, cool. Oh yeah, I got white horehound. Okay, this is my new medicinal herb for coughs. Oh yeah, this is going to be cool. I'm going to have to read and see when I need to start those, because a lot of herb seeds, they take a little bit longer to germinate. Oh yes, I got the Armenian yard-long cucumber. Okay, not really a cucumber. It's really a melon, I believe. Okay, some of these are for my sister. Oh yeah, okay, I got this one. I can't even say. Is a little, look at that tiny little yellow pepper. All right, excited about that. I ordered more of the watermelon radish. I did leave some in the garden so that I would have my own seeds too, but it's always good to have extra seeds on hand. All right, what else? Oh yes, Robert cauliflower. And if you're wondering, and if you want any more information on the things that are coming out of here, I will link the video below where I was saying what I want to grow or what I was going to buy and why I was choosing it. This is my new bean, jade, bush bean, new Carota carrots, which I did leave one also in the garden for seed. Oh yeah, pepper. Lesa pepper. Isn't that pretty? And Craig's Grande jalapeno. Yay! All right, now I got 2 free ones. Oh, no, I got 1 free one. Okay, this is the Globo onion, no picture, but it's a storage onion. And then they sent me a free pack of purple kohlrabi, which I already have, but thank you for free seeds. Free seeds are good. So those are my orders that I got in so far. And as time's gone by, I'm like, you know, I really think I want to go big on my cut flower garden this year. I focus mainly on the vegetables, but I'm like, yeah, I really want to do cut flowers. So that is the update on my seed orders that came in. Now I want to give you an update on the peas that I sprouted last week. These are in my windowsill for sprouting. I'm going to cut them and I'm going to use them in salads. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't that just scream spring? It does for me. Now, a question that I have that I don't know the answer to is how many times can I cut these before it's like done? So we're going to find out how many times. So I encourage you, if you have extra pea seeds, never leave pea seeds in the garden. Those rattle dry peas, never leave them there. Always take them in because you can use them to trade with people or you can sprout them. All they need is a sunny window. So I will put these back in the window and I will update you next week again on these. Okay, so, all right, so this week, an important part of gardening for me is having all kinds of critters working for me in the garden. And one of the critters that I really appreciate are the birds. We have a lot of birds in this area. We have a lot of large trees, we have the water, we have some great birds. I've been watching them up until this point. I've been watching them go after the seed heads that I've left in the garden, and I'm watching them on the ground. They're cleaning up out there. They're looking for things. I'll see them in the vegetable garden. They're looking for things. Now, it's about to get really cold for us here. It is time to feed the birds. It's time to fill the feeders. I had a tree that was a great tree that had limbs on it that I could hang my bird feeders on, and we took it down this year. So I finally found a tree, or at least a place where it's going to work for now, that I can feed the birds. One of my favorite birds, this is a really old book, is this one right here. Slate colored junco. Do we say junco? Do we say junco? I do not know. This is the little like bluish gray ground birds. We have in the north, they're a northern bird, I guess. It says it breeds in Canada and on high ground in the northern states. So, I mean, maybe they're in other parts of the country too, I don't know. But I love to watch them because they're out there and they're flipping over the leaves and they're just like looking for whatever it is that they can find. So it was time to start supplementing them a little bit to keep them here. I want to keep those birds. I'm like, hey, we need to go to the Tebow's house and we need to clean up their garden. I want them to do that. So it's a timely thing to make sure that your bird feeders are out and you feed the birds. So I've been cleaning my sunroom this week. Every day I'm doing a little bit, and I know my husband's like, it's a good thing you don't charge by the hour, because when I say that I'm going to clean the sunroom, what that really means is that I am going to take one wall, pull everything away from the wall, wash every plant, inspect every plant, top dress with soil as needed, and then I might wash the window. Okay, so I've been spending some time out there. So this week I pruned the olive tree. I moved it into more sunlight because it started actively growing, and I gave it a good pruning because I want to keep it kind of more compact than I've let it, and plus I couldn't walk through the doorway without walking sideways and holding everything in, walking sideways. So I gave that a good pruning. I found this little shriveled up thing on my counter out there, and I'm like, oh, what is that? And I almost threw it away, and then I realized it's a cucamelon. It was a little shriveled up cucamelon that, in my fury of cleaning up the garden and bringing things in, I must have thrown it on the counter for seed, and I almost threw it away. But so I took it, and it doesn't matter if it was, it's really not nice looking right now, but the seeds were perfect inside, and all I did was I took and I squeezed the seed, or excuse me, I squeezed the cucamelon into a glass of water just to clean the seeds. I'm not going to let them soak very long. So do you grow cucamelons? Are cucamelons something that you've grown in the past? Now, I consider them honestly to be a novelty, a fun thing. My sister loves them because she likes to keep her kids outside and eating out of the garden, all right? And they're a great thing to grow for kids. But, for me, they take up a lot of space. And what do you get? You get a cucamelon. Now, they're fun. I like to throw them in salads. If I'm going to somebody's house, I like to, bring them along and put them in a salad because they look cute, and they're like, what are these? But I do recommend them, but you got to realize that they're going to take up a lot of space. So I finally found a place last year that I like to grow them up alongside a clematis, and they get along really well. So I will be growing them again this year. So one of the things in my sunroom that it's time. This is a timely thing. If you're going to do any kind of cuttings, like I do coleus cuttings because I love coleus, and I like to keep them, year round. They're wonderful house plants. It's not quite time to do the cuttings yet, but I needed to get I have a propagation station. So if you're going to be doing any kind of propagating, think about what you want to propagate them in. Now, I made this propagation station, and I'll show you the before I cleaned it and then the after me cleaning it. I clean it once a year, and it's kind of hard to clean. But so the boards of my propagation station they were the original threshold for the door of our house. And it had an imprint in it that said the name Fred C. Crowell or something like that. And when we had people working on our house, they were doing the outside, ripping the windows out and putting new ones in, and we got a new door, and they were just taking that old wood and just put it in a pile in the front yard. And I heard the foreman, when my husband came home one day, I heard the foreman say to him, yeah, so we saw your wife sneak over and pull some wood out of the pile. And my husband says, yeah, sounds about right. It was beautiful vintage wood, right? So I put it together and I made my propagation station, and I am not tool savvy, people. I wish I were tool savvy, but if I can make something like this, anybody can do it. And so I use canning jars and whatever those silver wire things are. It was super easy to make. So that's my propagation station ready for my coleus cuttings. So in my propagation station right now are some cuttings of some low light plants for a young friend who texted me and started asking me about houseplants. Now, when a young person or when somebody shows interest in houseplants and you're good at the houseplants or any kind of plants, if you're good at it and somebody shows interest, it is your responsibility to take and foster that interest in them, you know, help them along. And I was so thrilled. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start some plants for you. Looking good right now as far as my house plants go is this Pittosporum that is right behind me. Now, Pittosporum is not a common plant grown indoors. And if you're south of me, you'd be like, yeah, we grow that out in the garden. And it's kind of like a laurel-like plant, or like, you know, like an azalea kind of looking plant. I always grew the green kind of Pittosporum. It has that mock orange kind of fragrance to it. I love fragrant plants. But I got this variegated one behind me, and I'll show you. Oh, okay. So this is way ahead of schedule. This normally starts to bloom the end of February or March. It has tiny, tiny little white flowers. See that little white flower right there? And they have a really nice perfume fragrance. Now, I like the variegated one because this plant I can put outside in the garden in a shady spot for the summer, and you know, I love container plants in the garden, so this looks really nice. It's not as perfumey as the green one, but it's still, I mean, it's nice to see blooming plants this time of year. Now, indoor, and where I took it from to get it to bloom, where I took it from where it was already blooming, and I would consider it to be, gosh, just indirect light, really no direct rays of sun. It is a great little house plant. It really is. You can't, it'll go dry between waterings, and then I just give it a big drink. It's okay if I forget to water it. It really is. I've never seen it wilt. It's kind of like, it's not the star of the show, but it looks nice in a grouping with other plants. So this is Pittosporum. And I keep it in my laundry room, and I'm going to put it back there. It loves the cool temperatures out there. So I've never grown this plant in regular warm household temperatures like 70 degrees. So it's, you know, 50, below 50, sometimes even colder than that, and it does just fine. So this week I did a video on how to mount a staghorn fern. I left out an important bit of information that I went and put back into the show notes. I kept referring to the mantle. Don't cover the mantle. I'm going to point to the mantle right there. Okay? Now, staghorn ferns have two different kinds of leaves, and they are called fronds on ferns. They have this one, okay, this frond right here. And then they have this one right here. And this one starts out green. It's like a shield, and it grows kind of like a cup or a bowl. And it's going to protect the root system of the plant. That's what it's there for. The mantle, the shield, it's just, it's another leaf. So if you didn't get to watch that, the video, it's not that long, and you can get, look at that. Isn't that the coolest thing? You can get staghorn ferns online, and if there's a garden place near you that has, I know the fairy plants are very trendy, or at least they were very trendy. I haven't been to an actual garden center in a while, but you will see staghorn ferns kind of in those mixes of those little fairy plants. And they're tiny, tiny, tiny. This one was a great deal. I think I paid $15 for it. It looks bigger now. It was in a 4-inch pot. But that's my staghorn fern. So check that video out. So that pretty much wraps up all of the indoor and outdoor gardening things that I've been up to this week. I do have a story that I want to share with you that is about my homesteading plan. Includes my local farmers. Okay, I have a farmer that I do buy some bulk vegetables from if my garden isn't producing enough, and I make sure through his season that I stop by Even if I'm just buying one thing, I want to make sure that I support him. He is part of my plan. Now, I have a friend who has a dairy farm, and she is part of my plan. I want to make sure that if she needs some support at her farm, that I can help if I can help, because I want her to be successful, because what she does is important to me, because I'm never going to own a cow. So I've been helping with some marketing and doing some videos with her, and so she's got Jersey cows. All right, several. So I'm helping her, and she's like, okay, I want you to go in this field, and we're going to bring the cows in for the night. Okay, so I've got my equipment, and I'm standing in the field with 3 cows, 3 young Jersey cows. They're not babies. They're a little past teenage years, but they're the 3 cows that every week when I go to get my milk, I say hi to them and I pet them, and I love animals, okay? And, you know, they're like so happy, you know, they remind me of dogs. So I am standing in the field with these 3 girls that I think they know me. Or I think they think that they know me, or whatever. But and I'm shooting in this direction because all the herd is coming in. Okay, so I am quiet. My body is quiet. My breathing is shallow because I want to make sure I'm standing still. I didn't bring a tripod with me, so I'm like trying not to breathe. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting licked. They're pulling my hair. They're kissing me. Basically, they're like, you know, all over me, and I'm trying not to move, and I'm trying not to laugh, and I'm trying not to breathe, and I'm trying to just, you know, get the shot of the cows coming in. And then suddenly, on the back of from my knee down to my foot, I feel a forehead. I feel a forehead because I'm not moving, and they're like, there's something wrong with her. And it was a gentle nudge, push, and then but I'm trying not to move, you know. And then I'm thinking, I wonder how many people have ever been, and then I start to think, how much does a cow weigh? How much do I weigh? What are the statistics here? And so I'm like, so I move a little forward, and the cow just does one of these. She wanted just to make sure that I was okay. Either A, she wanted to make sure that there was nothing wrong with me, or B, she was like, pet me, okay? But I just thought it was so funny. They're like, what's wrong with her? So they remind me a lot of dogs, but it was so fun to be in there. Now I'd like to hear about your week. What did you get done in week 3 of our brand new year? Did you do any seed starting? Did you buy your seeds? I would love to hear about it. So leave me a message below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.